you more now on Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn's decision to suspend MP Naj Shah over anti-Semitic comments that she posted on social media. I'm joined live now from central London by the editor of the Jewish News, Richard Ferrer. Good evening to you. What do you make then of Naj Shah's original post, and was it right for her to be suspended?
Good evening. Yes, she should have been suspended, even in Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party. You can't go on record calling for the transportation of Israelis out of Israel for a solution to the Middle East crisis without being aware in some way of the connotation, the Nazi connotations of that era, the baggage of those words. So despite Jeremy Corbyn's initial reluctance, he did the right thing, and suspension is what she's got, and she could face worse.
We're looking at the still image of what she posted right now. Why for you is that anti-Semitic and not anti-Israeli? She is suggesting the removal of the State of Israel to the United States. And is it OK to be opposed to Israel and still not be anti-Semitic? It's the language. She's suggesting the relocation, the transportation and a solution to the Middle East crisis. Anybody with that on record, whether you are a prospective Labour MP, as she was back in 2014, or not, must have some sort of awareness of the connotation of the heavy historical baggage that those words contain. I would suggest that perhaps she might like to join the Jewish community next week when they mark Yom HaShoah, the Jewish Holocaust Memorial Day, to actually see the power and the hurt that those words have caused. And to be honest, she's understood what she said, and I think she's taken a lot of it on her shoulders. Today she wrote an opinion piece for my newspaper, the Jewish News, where she took on board a lot of what she said, and I think she has accepted and understood the hurt that she's caused, and hopefully she can move forward constructively for the Jewish community and, of course, for her own career in the Labour Party. I only asked that question because people like Ken Livingstone have come out and said this is not anti-Semitic, this is an over-the-top comment about the horrendous conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And there is certainly a body of people, in the Labour Party or not, who support the Palestinian cause. At what point is it anti-Semitic to do so?
Of course, Israel's there to be criticised. It's a healthy and vibrant democracy, and I'd expect it to be criticised. And I think there are very, very great members of the Labour Party that hold the Palestinian cause close to their heart, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Palestinian nationhood is something that many Jewish people hold close to their heart. I think she overstepped the mark. I think she understood that she overstepped the mark. And what I found quite upsetting and tragic about her plight is this is a woman, a very, very high-profile politician in the Muslim community in Britain, who the Jewish community could work with. There's a lot of bridges that need to be built in this country between British Jews and British Muslims. And here was somebody, I think, that, she went to a Passover Seder held by one of the leading Reform rabbis in this country only last week. She's done great work with the Bradford Synagogue in her constituency. She's somebody, I think, that could really work to bring the two communities together. And I think this was a big own goal.
And a lot of that work needs to be done, doesn't it? Because at the fundamental heart of this is a decades-old conflict of two peoples who don't get on. Wouldn't most Israelis, do you think, like to relocate Palestinians out of the West Bank, out of the Gaza Strip, move them to neighbouring nations, for example, who already house thousands of Palestinian refugees? Is it a kind of mutual hatred we're talking about here?
Well, in recent months, we have seen a stepping up of incitement on the Palestinian side, and I think we've seen a drawing in of the Israeli side and people like Benjamin Netanyahu that often say things that don't play out well in this country and across Europe, even with some of Israel's most staunchest allies. It's a very, very difficult time. There is no one to talk to on the Palestinian side, and there's, I think, fear and mistrust on the Israeli side. But comments like this don't help, and finally, we got a suspension today, and hopefully we can move forward. And as I said, I think someone like Naj Shah could do a lot of good work.
Well, so two quick questions then. One, should she be expelled if you believe she could do this good work? And secondly, are you confident that the Labour Party leadership is doing enough to tackle this real or perceived problem of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party?
I don't think she should be expelled. I think there will be a period of time, obviously, with the whip has been withdrawn, and she will have to look back at what she's done and hopefully move forward constructively. I think there is a problem, obviously, with anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. I mean, it just stares everyone in the face now. Another day, another scandal. I don't think for a minute that Jeremy Corbyn is anti-Semitic, but you have to ask, what is it that draws these anti-Semites to the Labour Party currently? And I think I think lock, stock and barrel, from the rank and file members to councillors to now an MP. We've seen this illness, this poison, and I think stamping it out, hopefully coming up with a suspension, although it's been belated, is hopefully the first step towards maybe turning the corner in this very, very sorry chapter.
Richard Ferrer, editor of the Jewish News. Thank you very much. Thank you.